Okay, 2-week update on the on this cover crop field. The previous video was shot, I think I said 40-ish days after planting. And now we can see that this section here has gotten a little taller. Actually, some of the stuff is seeding out, the millet's seeding out, which I think millet puts seed up pretty fast and holds it for a long time. In fact, it does. The sun hemp, the yellow flowers, that's sun hemp, and it's, I'm assuming since it's flowering, it's going to be seeding. The difference in this from the original video is obviously that the crops are higher. They've grown more. We've got corn is trying to tassel. I've never seen foot-tall corn. But 2 weeks later after that original video, we're looking at taller vegetation. And then we come to the biochar section, which is seeding out. One of the huge things you'll see here is that you can really see now the germination rate. I mean, in some cases it's 75% more than this. Look how thick it is. Now, this used to be a burn pile. Again, this was a burn pile for 2 or 3 years. So, and it maybe had 3 or 4 fire cycles on it. I started maybe 3 or 4 fires on this. And then it had time to rest, where any biochar created has just kind of been into the ground, but there was no roots in this. I just uncovered it, took all the big stuff out, and basically made a seed bed and threw seed in it. At the same time I planted this. The germination rate is phenomenal. That little piece of corn that I said was a foot tall, this one is what, 4 feet tall. There's 3 square feet right there of sunflowers. It's just nothing but sunflowers. I don't see that kind of germination rate anywhere else in the field. You can also see where I took a harrow. When I took all the big stuff off of this burn pile, I took a harrow. You can see the direction that I pulled the soil. You can see that I went over the pile here with the harrow and drug it this way. You might not be able to see it as easily, but there's a lot of darker colored millet mixed in with lighter colored millet. You literally can see where I pulled that soil this way with the harrow behind the Jeep, and it distributed some of that dirt just in a lighter concentration over here, and it still affected the plants. They're way darker, meaning more nutrient rich, and then you have some of these millets in here that they're actually not that much shorter. The ones that aren't as dark, but the color is the contrast in color, which is to me an indication of nitrogen and nutrients, and all that is very prevalent. It's there. This is the thickest millet stand. It's the thickest sunflower stand. It's the thickest, everything that's in there has germinated at a higher rate. Some of this stuff, I would say the millet's probably 75% more germination rate in this little spot right here than anywhere else in the field. And it's about an acre, roughly an acre. It's a very rough acre. The key being that biochar was created in this spot, and then it sat and rested because fire will kill soil biology. It'll sterilize the soil. But the char was there. Biology came back. I burned it again. Rinse and repeat 3 times. And then it rested for a long time with residue on top of it because I kept stacking burnables on it because I was going to burn it again. And it sat there, so it built soil biology. And then I decided to plant the field. I cleaned it off. I didn't burn it. I just cleaned it off, got all the big stuff out, and raked it basically with a big rake behind the Jeep. Flattened this out just so I could get seed on it, and I could run the Jeep over it. And I raked it out, picked the nails and whatever was in there out of it, just so I could drive over it and harrow it. And then threw the seed out, basically at the same time. It was 5 I think I said 5 days difference in that and this. So the very first seeds I've ever planted in my life in a larger area than in a pot, I have a biochar experience, and it is real. I believe in that stuff. And that's why I make it. So one of the keys I was pointing out is that I didn't just make some biochar and throw it out here, because that doesn't, I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but it looks like you take biochar and, for instance, a lot of people are mixing it in a 50-50 combination with good compost, and they let that compost inoculate that biochar. So you got charged or inoculated biochar that was sitting here waiting when I put seeds on it, and it did fantastic things. I'm seeing like studies of where they put just plain biochar, just spread it out in the field, or incorporate it whatever methods, and it doesn't really, it actually can, in a lot of instances, hurt the plant growth because it's not inoculated yet. It's not populated with biology, those all the critters big and small, that all the fungi, all the bacteria, that's all in the root systems of this right here. I know it's there. I don't even have to look. I know it's there because I can tell by the condition of these plants. This is 10 species, and all of them, the ones that have come up here, are doing fantastic. And all you have to do is look to the right. That's the same stuff. So really cool stuff that we're learning about biochar here on our place. Really fun stuff.